Cowboys Nation. What if the biggest Cowboys story right now is not who Dallas already signed, but the one spot they still know they have to fix before this thing gets real? And yeah, I'm talking about linebacker, because the rumor flying around right now is that Dallas has backed off Patrick Queen and is now discussing two different names instead, Azeez Al-Shaair from Houston and Jordyn Brooks from Miami. Now, let's be clear, nothing is official here, nothing is done, and Patrick Queen is still a Steeler right now. But the reason this story is blowing up is simple. Dallas still has a real hole in the middle of this defense, and even the Cowboys' own site has basically admitted it. The official Cowboys mailbag said they should be very concerned at inside linebacker and listed DeMarvion Overshown, Shamar James, and Justin Barron as the current internal options. Yeah, that is talent, that is youth, that is upside, but that is also not the kind of proven green dot answer that makes everybody sleep better at night. And that is why the Patrick Queen angle had people fired up in the first place. ESPN identified Queen as one of the possible trade answers for Dallas's middle linebacker problem, noting he had 120 tackles last season and is due a little over $10.8 million in base salary this year. But reports now suggest Dallas has pivoted off him, with Nick Harris saying Al-Shaair and Brooks are the names being discussed instead. That tells me something important. This front office still knows it needs a veteran traffic cop in the middle. They do not want to walk into 2026 hoping a rookie magically becomes the voice of the defense on day one. They want somebody who can line this thing up, communicate, and bring real grown man stability to Christian Parker's scheme. Now, between the two rumored names, the choices get really interesting. Azeez Al-Shaair had 103 tackles last season for one of the NFL's best defenses, and ESPN described him as a guy who plays with attitude, though sometimes that edge goes a little too far. Jordyn Brooks, on the other hand, had 183 tackles and 3.5 sacks last season, and ESPN said Miami appears to be in a broader reset, while Brooks enters 2026 set to make $7.815 million. That part matters, because now the conversation is not just about who is better, it is about who is more gettable, who fits the scheme best, and who Dallas believes can command that middle right now. And honestly, Cowboys fans should take this as a positive sign. Why? Because it means Dallas has not ignored the problem. The official team site said linebacker remains a high priority the rest of free agency and into the draft, and the Cowboys have already shown this offseason they are willing to reshape the defense aggressively. So even if Patrick Queen is off the table, that does not mean Dallas gave up. It means the Cowboys are still hunting, still looking, still trying to land the right answer instead of just the biggest name. And that is exactly what serious teams do. So now I want to hear from you, Cowboys Nation. If Queen is really out, who would you rather see in Dallas? Azeez Al-Shaair's edge or Jordyn Brooks' production? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe.